When the Suns take the floor again tonight, they will be doing so without Bradley Beal, injured once again. I believe it was earlier this week that the team announced that he was going to be reevaluated in a week coming off of that calf injury. And so he will miss another contest for the Phoenix Suns. And his future is something that has become sort of an afterthought. Not one of the first things that comes up when talking about the summer for the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant comes up. Mike Budenholzer comes up. James Jones comes up. Now, it's probably because of the no trade clause that everybody just assumes that Bradley Beal is going to be a member of the Phoenix Suns in 2025 and 2026. I think it's just kind of accepted at this point. We saw the trials and tribulations that the Phoenix Suns went through, the hoops that they tried to jump through in order to trade him ahead of this past year's trade deadline to do something to their roster. It was an albatross. It was a huge hindrance to everything that they wanted to do. It made their trade deadline impossible. They couldn't meaningfully improve this basketball team because nobody wanted to take on Bradley Beal, and they didn't pursue the Kevin Durant thing until the last possible second. So with Bradley Beal injured again, getting reevaluated in a week, I asked myself this question this morning. What do the Suns want from Bradley Beal next season? What do the Suns have in mind for Bradley Beal's role on this team? Forget for just a second the amount of money that Bradley Beal is going to make next season. For just a second, forget that he's going to make $53.7 million next season. Forget for just a second that it's $57.1 the year after. Forget that it's $110.8 million over the next two seasons. Put that to the side for a brief moment. We'll get back to it. So keep it close, but just put it to the side for a second. What do the Suns have in mind for the role of Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal is no longer somebody that I think is considered a top two option on a team. When the Suns traded for Bradley Beal and they created this brand new big three, had Devin Booker, traded for Kevin Durant, in the summer traded for Bradley Beal. The idea of this big three was we had three top scoring options. We had three number ones. Had to figure out how we were going to put it together. Had to kind of see what the configuration, how we were going to fit these puzzle pieces together every single night. But we believed we had three number one scoring options. Bradley Beal's lack of availability removes him from that conversation. He no longer can be counted on when you're building a roster. Again, put the $53 million to the side for a second. He's not a number one option. I don't know if he can even be considered a number two option because of the lack of availability. Now, I'm about to reference a story from John Voida over at Bright Side of the Sun about a new thing we can consider about Bradley Beal. But he puts a tweet in the top of this story that Bradley Beal has missed 37% of all possible games since arriving in Phoenix in 2023. That percentage will go up tonight when he doesn't play against the Bulls. That was after the Toronto game. 37%. Nearly 40% of the games that Bradley Beal could have played in since he got here, nearly 40% of the games Bradley Beal would have missed. It's now 37% of all possible games since getting to Phoenix in 2023 he has missed. And it grows bigger every single time he misses action for this team. So what John Voida points out in this story on Bright Side of the Sun, and this is an option that you very rarely consider. And on the surface, it feels almost not acceptable to even throw out there. But he did, and so it made me think, could the Phoenix Suns waive and stretch Bradley Beal? So John did the exercise. He walked through it. That if they took the $110.8 million and they waived and stretched it, meaning that they had the 2 years left on the deal, and when you waive and stretch, it is twice the number of years of the contract plus a year. So the 2 years on the deal, so double it, it's another 2 years plus one. So you would take the $110.8 million. Remember when I said keep the number close because we were going to get back to it? You take the $110.8 million and you spread it out over 5 seasons. So instead of taking the pain and having Bradley Beal on your team and paying him $53.7 million this year and $57.1 the year after in 26 and 27, you would spread it out, you would waive and stretch him, he would be off your roster, and for the next 5 years, you would carry a cap hit of $22.1 million. So do you pay it all over the 2 years of the deal and then be done with the Bradley Beal problem in 2 seasons? Or do you want to recapture $30 million worth of cap space and you are willing to prolong the pain? You're willing to accept pain beyond the actual contract parameters in order to get under the second apron, in order to just rid yourself of the Bradley Beal problem and to just move on? Are you willing to accept that pain? And the thing that Voita points out in the story that I find so interesting, and I want to see if I can find the quote of the story that is really important. Quote, I've said it before, the Suns are operating within a short, fragile window built around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And Beal's contract, it's been a lock on that window. Snip it off, move forward. Who cares where he ends up? Even if we all know it'll be the Lakers, and even if we all know it'll come back to haunt us, this is the way. And he points out that if the Suns are still going to try to operate with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, this might be the way to do it. This might be the way to change your roster because, yes, you accept the pain on the backside of this deal, but you can keep Kevin Durant, you can keep Devin Booker, you might change the coach, and you free up $30 million worth of cap space. And really what you do is you get yourself under that second apron. You open up all of those things that were taken away from you when you're a second apron team, and now you have a free roster spot. You have a roster spot that can be used to somebody who might be more available. Not as good as Bradley Beal, but might be more available than Bradley Beal. But this goes back to a really important question. What do the Suns want to be in 2025 and 2026? What do they want to be next season? See, the issue that I have with waiving and stretching Bradley Beal is now I have to accept more pain on this. I have to accept that after this deal is supposed to be done, I'm still going to be paying the price for this. Isn't that the time? See, here's where I come from on this. The Phoenix Suns might trade Kevin Durant this summer. They probably should trade Kevin Durant this summer. Once they do that, they are not operating in a championship window. They'll have a new championship window. And we have constantly said that we think that window could realistically open up probably 3 years down the road. That is exactly when Bradley Beal's contract is going to be up. If you just take the pain and you pay the 53.7 next year and you pay the 57.1 the year after that, then around the time when you will have these young players continuing to develop, when you will have some more draft picks that will be able to help build around Devin Booker, you will be freed of this cap space. You will not just be under the second apron, you will be under the first apron, and you will have a brand new lease on life. You will be able to start a new championship window. If you waive and stretch Bradley Beal, if you say, I'm going to lessen my pain for the next 2 years and create some flexibility in the next 2 years, but I'm going to add 3 years of pain to it. What you are doing is you are saying that when that championship window opens up, I am going to relimit myself because of Bradley Beal. I'm going to remind myself of Bradley Beal by doing that. So the next 2 years might be painful. The next 2 years in a post-Kevin Durant era might not lead to a lot of wins, although I expect the team to probably be better record-wise than they are this year. Take the pain now. Don't prolong the pain, and then in the next window, you are going to enter a transition period between windows. Don't carry the burden, the pain, the reminder of this window into the next window. Don't carry that burden, that hindrance into the next window. Free yourself of it all. Have the next 2 years be painful while you're in transition, but then be able to fully wipe the slate clean and not have that reminder.